And we're back again. City win, Arsenal lose, everything changes. And I think I speak for every Arsenal fan where I say, just like, where did this all go wrong? But we're going to get into all of that. We have to have manners. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. How are you doing beyond the obvious, Jess, away from Arsenal?
I'm good. I actually was in my first commercial like a couple
I
days
big
ago.
up yourself. What was that? Did you kick
It's
up?
for the World Cup and it's with McDonald's.
Round of applause. We love to hear that, Jess. You weren't doing any football though. Like, hopefully, it was just
I
you
was
being normal.
doing a little bit of football, so there you go.
Bro, do you manage to what? Did they make you do kick ups?
Yeah.
And you didn't hurt yourself this time.
Nope.
That's someone learning from their mistakes. I just wish I could extend that to our football club, man. So yeah,
I
as
know.
usual, people, big up just for that. Obviously, you probably know her for her footballing opinions. The lady talks about fashion, about all sorts of stuff, and she's doing bits. So as she's making changes on her YouTube channel, please make sure you go and subscribe over there and check out her content. Don't imagine you're not doing that already. Jess, I can't lie. We are going to talk about City. We are going to talk about the game. We are going to talk about the backdrop of Arsenal. But I always consider this for myself with you a bit like therapy sessions. So I've got questions that I've asked myself, but I just want to ask you. So I'm gonna kick off here. The first one would be, oh, there's a couple. There's a couple here. If I'm honest with you, do you fully trust Mikel Arteta, and do you fully trust Mikel Arteta in this particular moment where Arsenal are?
No. Next
Why?
question. Do I trust Mikel Arteta?
Yeah, why not? I mean, he's shown consistency to get us second. There has been injuries. There has been some mitigating circumstances. Mathematically, we're still in a title race. We're in another semi-finals. Like, why don't you trust him?
I mean, he hasn't done anything up until this point to make me think he has no credit in the bank when it comes to who Arsenal are in April and May. And I think that's what we're talking about. If I want to trust him, like I could trust him to make us solid, make us consistent in the league, make sure that we're in the Champions League spots. I could trust him to do those things, but to win anything, absolutely not. He's had many opportunities in 7 years to win anything, and he's won one FA Cup the moment that he got here. He's been in one final since, and he
Two
lost
English
that.
Super Cups as well.
Okay, we'll give him that. But his record is abysmal when it comes to cups, and it's really poor in April, and it's just reared its ugly head again. I think we've scored like 3 goals or something like that in April, some nonsense. We've won one game, maybe, you know. So it's just shocking. So no, I don't trust him at all. And this was the season, I think, to really change a lot of people's minds. I think he was
Facts.
given a lot of grace last season because of all the injuries, but I'm not going to be listening to the end of the season. Yeah, well, we didn't have some of our main players, yada 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 yada. I'm not going to hear that when you send Waneri out on loan. You got 8 players in the summer. You ran certain players into the ground over and over and over again. We could have told you that they were going to break down and not be ready for April. Norgard has gotten no playing time. MLS has gotten no playing time. So you have quality players that you haven't really utilized. So ain't nobody trying to hear any of that. So nobody told y'all to go out there and get Madueke, who has what, 3 goals all season? So I don't know. No, I don't trust him. That's the long and the short. And again, they were playing around at the beginning of the year, and it was waved away as you're just being negative, but it's like we really needed like a legitimate 10-point gap
We needed to do what
because
Liverpool done last year, like just run away with it.
yeah, because if we didn't, we see what's happening. We see that they just don't have it in April. We needed to be in a position where we could drop points in April, but it wouldn't really matter. We'd still be 6 points clear, 7 points clear. We didn't do that. So,
And this is why I'm so critical of you. I think everybody can understand as a football fan, yeah. And speaking for our club, we can't win them all. You will drop points, all of that kind of stuff. But I hate when people come out with this kind of mighty ducks, kind of courageous nonsense where you thought it was going to be easy, you thought it was going to be this, that, and the other. No, that's the whole point of why, when we've got opportunities to make some distance and make some ground, You've got to go and do that. Now, as I said, people, we will get onto Manchester City. I do think the performance, away from the result, the performance was there against City. Unfortunately, football's a results-driven business, and we are in results-driven season. And I think that performance and certain elements in the first half that I did like, it's come too little, too late. Unfortunately, I think Jess is bang on the money. Like, we've ran players into the ground. You've have more options than you could ever count, but you've shown really no flexibility. We've dropped stupid points. Again, I would say if I was to forgive all of this, the League Cup final, first final in 6 years, shat the bed. Performance against Bournemouth wasn't there. And unfortunately, Arteta, I can give you that praise of you have rebuilt the club. You have made us competitive and all of those things. But you show an inability to get over the line. It feels like you have to be forced to change things. As I said with the City game, I did like, beyond the obvious, the approach. And if I'm really being harsh, the second half, I can get pissed off with Arteta. But people can tell me about the players and all of these kind of things. As just alluded to, we came into the season saying, all right, we're pissed off from last year, but cool. This year, we have to deliver a trophy. You've got 4 opportunities. We rate you as a gaffer. We rate the team. The gloves are kind of off. And we've crumbled at the end. Like, we've been ticking over like this, gone down a level. City have got their act together. You have to strike, in my opinion, when the enemy's weak, innit? And we've had several opportunities. And this is why, when people want to sit there and you're losing games in the first half of seasons, Jess, and they sit there and say, oh, but we've got a lot of games. We've got this, we've got that. You're not wrong. But it does make you get back into ideal scenario syndrome. We could have beat Manchester City at our place, apologies. We could have beaten or got a point out of Liverpool in the 2 games there, 15 minutes away from not beating Sunderland away from home, a minute away from getting a point at Aston Villa. I've actually disregarded it, but Forest away, there's many other points that had we have taken anything from 3 all the way to probably statistically 12 points, where would we be? But unfortunately, that's the same kind of rhetoric that we said this season, the season before, and the season before that. And, I'll tell you, you've been here 6-7 years, innit? I will kind of discount the initial years because we weren't where we wanted to be. Big you up for that. I'll even give you the luxury of 2022, 23, even though I think other teams would have seized that and got it done. I'll even give you that. But the last 3 years, it's been abysmal, if I'm completely honest. It doesn't matter if we lead the table or the chasers, there's issues. And kind of what Jess said there, recruitment, bro. Like, let's not beat around the bush. I'm not trying to make it about Kai Havertz or Noni Madueke, but you spent 100 million quid on them. We're still debating, is it Kai Havertz or Gyökeres up front? Noni's not grabbing goals. The attack, there's more questions than answers. As Jess also said, whether it's Norgard, whether it's Miles Lewis-Skelly, whether it's Wanyeri, whether it's changing certain things, you've not changed anything in midfield. And I don't feel, listen, every team and every manager, they're going to have a central way of playing. They're going to have a central system. But I think there's an inability to be flexible. It feels like you have to be forced to kind of do that. Even the whole trade-off of Eze on the left-hand side against City. But if nothing changes, nothing changes. We want to get to a realm that we haven't been before. So Mikel Arteta and the players have to be something they've never been. And that's not the case, man, if I'm honest. And I have to ask you just as well. As I said, I've got a bit of questions here, Could the manager get more out of this squad?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, there was a point in time with this team a while ago where I thought he was overcoaching. And when I mean overcoaching, I mean he was coaching, he squeezed all the juice out of the lemon. This was as much as he could do, and they looked really good. I think he made a team that was missing a couple of things look so much better because the coaching was so good. And I would view that team as maybe not necessarily super less talented, but it definitely didn't have as many tools in its toolbox. 100%. Now, I feel like there's so many players where they're not in form, they're not scoring, they don't even look anywhere near the players that they were before or the players that they were when they came from other clubs, So I do think that he is not getting anywhere near what he could be getting out of this group. I don't think we have to be the perfect team to win the league. I just think we have to be better than everyone else.
And stop shooting ourselves in the fucking feet.
Yeah. Every year we go back and we're like, yeah, but we need this. We need to buy this. We need to buy this. With this exact group, had just been able to coach that attack a little bit better and not use, I don't know if he does this on purpose, but it feels like he uses results-based analysis. If we're winning, he thinks we're doing fine, regardless of the underlying metrics or the eye test telling you that we're stinking it up. if he had just taken some time to make sure that we're creating a little bit more chances, maybe the attackers are having a little bit more fun so that they can start scoring goals. We can look a little bit more fluid and not double down, triple down on a style that was always inevitably going to crack, then maybe we'd be in a better position. I know these players have limitations, but everybody has players that have limitations. It's
They're
so,
human.
yeah, unless you have PSG right now, or you have Bayern, or even maybe to a certain extent Real Madrid, you have quite a few players in your team that have physical and or technical limitations. So I'm not trying to hear, oh, but we didn't have
Right.
this, we didn't have that. Arteta was as
No, they
long
can't
as
say that
those.
because when we came in, sorry to cut you, just but
No, go
people
ahead.
said, "Oh, we got all this depth. Our second choice 11 can get top four. It can compete on all four fronts." In which, cool, we haven't got to finals yet, but at the end of the day, you was a step away in the FA Cup from Wembley. You got to a League Cup final. You're still technically in the Premier League race, and you're in another semi. So it's all on the gaffer. Obviously, the players have to take responsibility, but I make just right, folks.
Yeah, I just don't see why this team, let's take away the league for a second, cannot have won a single trophy in 6 seasons with a Billy spent, let's say close to a Billy spent. You know, I don't see why. Um, and then to me, it just comes down to coaching. I think at a certain point, he was coaching these attackers into better positions, and he was coaching an attack that could score goals at will, and making a group of Gabriel Jesus, Saka, and Martinelli look like the best in the world. And he had two really good center backs and a good midfield, and somehow he's kind of like unraveled that, and it's just like a bunch of pieces of things that kind of work but don't work. And as long as we had our set pieces and we were defending for our lives, we were good, but then it fell apart. So yeah, and I'm like, the set pieces, a big part of our season was
Dried
due
up.
to another person. So what the fuck have you been doing?
No,
Like,
you're
what have
right
you
because
been doing?
everything's dried up. Just like again, I've been saying this. I've called it earlier. I said defensively, I don't think we're as compact. We're still good defensively, but not to those levels. As just said, and everyone with eyes can see. While we score a lot of goals, it's another year where we say we know we're gonna get goals, but who's gonna get them? We're not that in. We're not that in the final third. Midfield's a bit shaky, and that's just kind of said it there. Yeah, that's what annoys me because in the 2022-23 season, for whatever reason, you show me you have an ability to coach and attack. You saw it with Sane and Sterling at Manchester City. I've seen some of our players have their best goal scoring output seasons here. So you can do that. But that's neither here nor there. If you're going to play this negative football or this street smart football, then it has to pay dividends. You have to get over the line. And for whatever reason, it is now out of your hand, in which people indirectly are going to check out. We're always going to support Arsenal, but you have shot yourselves in the foot. And then people want to gaslight and say, "Oh, just get behind the boys, just do this, just do that." 100% we're behind them, but that sounds great. That's copium to me, man. Jarring.
It is copium. I'm just like, I get it that people want to hear other people say
Even comments
that
like this.
we have it. Like, yeah, and I'm like, I get that. I understand that we could still win it. But I just don't think that we're going to be able to basically win all of our games and outscore City. Because that's basically what you're asking. It's no longer in our hands. If they outscore us and win all their games, because it's level, then they win the league. And we're not really scoring goals right now. Like,
We need to just focus on winning full stop.
yeah, we have to play Newcastle, a traditional bogey team for us that has really nothing going on, but you don't have to have anything going on to do something to us. They would love to be able to take just a couple points off of us, or to end our title hopes, So it's not looking good. And I don't think you can blame people for feeling some type of way. They've won one game in April? Like, it should never have come down to this. It should have never come down to this. It shouldn't. But for City to still have felt like they had a chance when we were 9 points clear tells you everything about what they think about us. If Liverpool had been 9 points ahead of City, City would have felt like it's probably over. If they don't care how many points we're ahead, they know that we have this in us. So, and we also know we have this in us. So, yeah, they can. But am I really like motivated by watching Rice crumble to the ground saying it's not over, it's not over? Like, not really.
You just want the 3 points, bro. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
I'm
point
like,
I'm at now.
no, not really. So yeah, it is what it is, but ultimately, like, they if they, it's not even like, you can't even say if they really want it, they will, because it's
It's
out
out
of
your
their
hands
hands
now.
now. Yeah, so now we're hoping that City don't score a lot of goals. Like, I don't know. We can't
I'm not
barely
even
score
hoping
goals
for that, Jess.
ourselves.
I'm not even
Yeah,
hoping for that. I can't lie.
yeah.
I'm not even watching the goal difference and all of that. Of course,
Yeah, it's
I
like,
would.
oh, well,
Yeah,
Newcastle aren't as good this season as, blah, 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 blah. Like, we made hard work of Wolves. We lost to
twice.
Southampton. Yeah, you don't have to be good to get anything off of us. You just have to, because what we especially like last 2 seasons, why there's been so little few games in which we've just whooped teams, especially this season. We always drop our level right below the team that we're playing. Right below. However they're playing, we're gonna go just right below them. And if we do end up getting something, it's because we just have maybe a little bit more quality, or we've scammed it with a set piece. You know, we drop our levels right below. So if Wolves are playing, we're gonna play just around the way that Wolves are playing.
And when that happened at the Emirates, we didn't take heed of it away from home. So I don't need to remind
Yeah.
everyone being 2 goals up and seeing the job through.
Yeah, I've never seen an Arsenal team like this. Usually, in the past, like Arsenal, they have their bogey teams. They have teams that they just are just better than them, but they can slap the small teams. Like we've always been able to do that. It's like if we come up against a shit side, we can bop them. But that's even gone. It's life or death. Like last season, it was life or death with Leicester. We went life or death with Leicester twice. So there's no slapping dudes anymore. So it's tough. Every game feels like life or death. I don't know where that's come from, but that's got to go away. You got to have somebody you can slap.
Well, it's gone. It's too late now. Every game is going to be sink or swim. Again, we'll get onto it, but the performance I feel was positive, definitely almost positive after the international break against City, in it. But at the same time, that was away from home. Unfortunately, the last time we was at the Emirates, we played Bournemouth. Now, obviously, there's going to be nerves. God forbid you go a goal down. We know that City have obviously beat Burnley. What is that going to look like at the Emirates Stadium? So,
Yeah.
like, it is what it is. Me personally, I'm not even watching goal difference and paying attention to that personally, because I don't think it makes sense. I feel I can barely string array where Arsenal are going to win games. So I can't be talking about winning games 3-4, whatever, nil.
Yeah.
Newcastle need to get 3 points as well. So let's try. Let's just try go on a winning run. We got 5 games, 7 including the champs. Just win the games. Pray to God City drop points. Unfortunately, if we don't, questions have to be asked. Like, it's
But
tired, man.
let me ask you this question,
Go
because
on.
this came up, like, I think it was like on Men in Blazers, and Tyler Adams was on there, and he was talking
I was
about
going to
how,
ask you.
yeah, they could feel the nervousness in the Emirates from the fans, and also like when the players are playing out from the back. And that's kind of like, when you look at Arsenal, everything is about, not being adventurous and not
Will
taking
do.
any risks. But it does feel like we're always willing to take the biggest risk in front of our goal, but we don't take any risk in front of theirs. Where is that coming from? Like, what is your temperature on that? Because it's like we've been playing weird at the back for a while now, where Raya's on the ball a lot and they're making mistakes. Why don't we change that up? Like, is Arteta just not seeing it? Like, I don't get him. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Get it off the goalkeeper's toe.
It's weird, Jess, man, because I do think there's a bit of nerves. I do think there's nerves because when people start making, because I think all season we've been conceding cheap goals, and
Yeah.
I started going heavy on that Manchester City at home because everyone looks at it as some courageous where we snatched the point, but we fell off. So I do think there's an element of that. It was obviously there against Bournemouth. Technically, it was there against City. It's been their kind of thing. It's by design, isn't it? Like it's by design. We take obviously you got to go from one end to the other end, yeah. But clearly we take more risk in our half and the middle third than the final third. That's why there's an emphasis on Raya holding on to the ball to drag people. That's why we're so big on Rice not playing in the six, because he can't consistently turn on the ball like a Zubimendi. Maybe not so much now because Calafiori and Timber have been injured, but I remember sitting there and talking to you and we was looking at the graph how Timber and Calafiori, they've got the most touches in the up box and all of that kind of jazz. It's by design. Like, Arteta, and I know it's easy for me to say, yeah, but you couldn't have come into this season, sorry, not having a system that's going to get the best out of your attackers. You know, it was one thing signing Eze, signing Gyökeres. We all know Gyökeres has limitations. No one can convince me just that you slap that man in a couple of other Premier League sides, you'll still see the same clumsy striker. He will get a lot more goals. Eze is probably taking us too late for us to kind of bed him in. And then obviously you look at people with Zubimendi, obviously Zubi's season's on the floor, innit? That man, people are saying that man can't pass the ball forward. I'm sorry, but that is on the system. Like, really. And everyone goes and looks at the Spain games and says, what happened to this Zubi? You're right. Maybe a lot of it is confidence. But when Zubimendi's got the ball for Spain, there's several options forward. Because that's the one thing I give these players, yeah. When I see Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, and they're on the ball and there's nothing in front of you, you're going to try force it and give the ball away. Or you're going to go down the left, you're going to go down the right. Whether it's breaking down low blocks, mid blocks, compact defenses, getting the best out of our attackers, taking risks, as you said earlier, in the final third. We didn't learn none of this season. Like, none of this. We knew what we needed to do going into it. We haven't discovered none of this shit is new, if I'm honest. And that's actually a question I want to throw back at you. Like, do you think you've learned anything new about this football club, or specifically the gaffer and the boys?
I think nothing new, but I think there's been, you know, if they do go through this season trophyless, let me just say that, then there'll be some things that are just set in stone for me personally when it comes to this team and this coach. And that would just be they don't have it. They can talk all day long about wanting to do this and wanting to do that. But ultimately, when I watch them play, I just do not see a team that's they can want it, but they're not prepared to do what it takes. I'll say that, you know, because I want a lot of shit in life, but I'm not prepared to do what it would take to get it, you know. So I can want a lot of things from my couch and they can want a lot of things from that pitch, but that doesn't mean that they are prepared to do it. And no matter how much they talk, they'll always go down. Like, they're literally a couple of weeks away from going down as the biggest bottlers in Premier League history. And some of these players have been a part of more than one team that has been looked at in that vein, you know. So I just don't really think that, you know, you can escape it. And I think that's because I was talking to my mom the other day. My mom's a huge Arsenal fan. And she was like, and she's usually really positive. She was like, I just don't know how they recover from this. And I'm like, they don't, because at this point, you are the biggest bottlers. Nobody believes in you anymore. And nobody believes in this manager. And so, yeah, it's like I haven't learned anything new, but it's just set in stone, things that have been creeping in probably since the, you know, 22-23 season. Gave them a little pass for that 23-24 season. Is, do they have what it takes to get over the line? And I think as an institution, they don't. Like, they don't. We have completely new players, a deep team, you know, completely different circumstances. We're not playing against the treble winners. And for some reason, we've allowed City to get into a position to overtake us in a one
strike when the enemy was weak.
Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't learned anything new. It's just set some things like that they just won't be able to get away from it. I know people will still have excuses like, well, we didn't have this player. And I already seen, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so have only played together twice. It's like, I can already see you guys, you're getting your little receipts together of, yeah, but we never played these players together and these players were injured. I'm not trying to hear all that.
So then you need mitigating factors. You need an alternative. Like Kai Havertz, Ben White, and obviously Saka and Odegaard and all them guys on the right. We know they've got injuries, and yes, there's an element of that is harsh, but you need to have alternatives. That's the whole thing. Yeah. We've seen injuries, like even some of the best results across the last 2 to 3 years have been achieved without us having on paper the best 11. We knew that's why everyone's saying we got the depth to go over the line of things. These are factors. There's obviously relevance to the story, but we're at the point, and I'm sure Jess would agree. We hear that we're past that. It's about getting over the line, regardless.
Get it over the line.
There's too much lived experiences, bro.
Yeah, it's just too many mitigating circumstances, and even when you have everything going your way, you still can't get it done. You know, so there's something missing, and they got to figure out, you know, what that is. But you know, I'd probably start right at the tippy top, because ultimately there's no way that you can look at this team that's been built in Arteta's image and preclude him from from what's happening. You can't just set him to
You
the
get the
side and
praise,
say,
you
this
get the
guy's a
criticism.
genius. Let's look at everyone else. I'm seeing lists of 8, 9 players that got to go. I'm like, let's start at the top. Let's look at the manager. Let's look at him because he's the only thing that hasn't changed.
Just they don't rate him as much as they claim. Because if you rated the gaffer, you want to, we see all of the statistics that reflect that we're a competitive team. It was about becoming a great team, getting some greatness, getting paid, getting something that's going down in history. We know about the fact that, all right, cool, big you up, 2 semi-finals now in 140 years of our history. We have shown consistency to be second. You've got to the latter stages of competitions. You have made us competitive. But you just might not be that guy, and there's nothing wrong with it. If you really rate the gaffer, which I do think you're one of the best in the Prem. I do think once you exclude like the Pep Guardiolas, the Luis Enriquez, all them kind of man, they step below. You're part of that. But if we believe that and believe these players, we can't keep coming up with excuses. The manager said coming into this season, you've seen what we've done with 3 years. We now need to do it on the 4th time. You saw him talk about I need to earn a contract. We've all seen Saliba and all of these players talk about winning trophies, and the players obviously have to take responsibility. But whatever way you shape it, there's been many different circumstances. It has to fall on the gaffer. The gaffer hasn't become something. Even if I look at Lewis, because you mentioned it, yeah, you mentioned PSG, and I'll mention City, yeah. I'm not asking you to be PSG. I'm not asking you to be Manchester City. You're definitely not Pep Guardiola. You're definitely not Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique does what you do, but it's on steroids. He gives you, there's 10 tasks to win a game. He makes sure his team do 9. On the last one, he says, you know what? I know I need my fullbacks to do this and my wingers to do that. I'm going to let you lot play free. You see the fullbacks from them teams on the same side. I look at Pep Guardiola, the exact same. If there's 3 players, yeah, very different. But you look at Pep Guardiola's philosophy. On paper, regardless of how good Haaland is, that's not a Pep Guardiola striker. Donnarumma's not a Pep Guardiola goalkeeper. And Ryan Cherky, on paper, isn't one of their players. But they have found a way to make it work. And you haven't. This is why I don't want to hear about it's his players and things. We're still talking about the same conversations. Even looking at Kai Havertz against City. You actually think you played well, but the obvious, you summed up Kai Havertz. The goal he scored is a Kai Havertz kind of goal. You can do the system kind of stuff. When we need you to be decisive, you can't do it. And at some point, I can't criticizing the players. We can't take squad players and then be surprised that they do well, but they don't get us over the line. He has lived experiences, obviously, in the last 3 years, 4, including this. You've been at Manchester City and in the tail end of a season. Obviously, I can't just blame you for injuries, but we keep finding ourselves for whatever reason in this. And we came into the season with a lot of injuries. Bearing in mind, Kai Havertz has had 2 hamstring ones. It's been stop-start. It's all your fault. And then it leads me to ask you this, just like this, big up the super chat. I need to see these players with another coach. Where do you stand on that? Do you think like another coach could obviously win this league? Because I was having this conversation with my friend. Beyond the obvious, yeah, I think, forget the Liverpool Klopp that obviously won the Premier League and was fighting 90 points and he didn't win it, yeah. I think if the guy, if Jurgen Klopp at Dortmund came to Arsenal now with this squad, I think he gets over the line. I genuinely think he gets it over the line. For whatever reason, I think he gets it over the line. Like, so then it leads me to ask this, like, are you at the point where you need to see these players with another coach? Are you open to it? How do you think that pans out?
Yeah, and I think so. I'm just,
It's long now,
but
yeah.
I was saying this probably like 2 years ago.
You was
I'm just like, I think my last, like, let's give it another go with Mikel was, I was so disappointed in that one summer window where we just got Calafiori Marino. I was like, this is just ridiculous, but after last season, I definitely was like, we definitely need a new manager. There's no way that you just do 3 times and you still don't get it over the line. Like, there's just no way anything by that, but at the same time, it's just like, I just hate the conversations that come around Mikel and moving him on, because people are not going to support a new manager because they put their flag down in the sand with Mikel for some reason. And it's just like, I don't get what he's done for you guys to be so enamored with him. I was down with giving him time, because you need to give him time. And really,
I fuck
after,
with him, but he's not bigger than the system.
yeah, because I wanted him out after he was playing Willian, and we were like in 12th or something like that. And I was like, he done lost the dressing room. And then he started playing Saka and Emil Smith Rowe, and we improved. And it's like, cool. Between that time and the 22-23 season was like 2 seasons. And then it was like, okay, when are we going to start win things? So there's been like kind of like a this with him, but ultimately what it comes down to for me is like I don't think the players are inspired by you, and I don't think that they're ever going to be the types of players that fully go like down tools because they're
They
nice
might just
boys.
need new voices.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, they're going to play, but it's very obvious to me that they're not inspired. Like they don't play, they play like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. You do absolutely nothing to put the stuff on you and let them be free. You do nothing. You may everything is like weighed down. So yeah, I think that he needs to go, and I would love to see the remnants of whatever's left of his team with someone else because I do think that if we just had a new voice in the room that just lightens the mood a little bit, it would help. It's just too much, it's just too much, and it's a lot to find another manager that's going to be able to deal with the situation that we're in which we haven't won anything or the Premier League in 20 something years. Um, and there's going to be an immediate, like, you need to win right now, here now. It's going to be difficult, but we have to get started on it. We can't just prolong it. Arteta is not going to get it done. He's
We need
not.
to be open to everything, man. Like until you get over the line, we need to be open to everything. Everyone, the first thing and people are gonna say, and everyone can recognize he's a good coach. He's gonna go win stuff. If he doesn't do it here, there's an issue. Who are you gonna go and get? We could get better. We could get worse. Anything could happen. But at some point, you've got to try something new because you know already what's already happening on paper. Like, and even that who we're gonna get, I don't know. But when Mikel Arteta came to this football club, what CV did he have? You worked with that. You worked with Mick. You worked with Pep Guardiola. So somebody at the club, granted they probably left now, but somebody at the club recognized, oh, there could be something here. Great stuff. And one thing that jars me about like, there's a lot of negativity around the manager, but there's a lot of excuses. People want to put him in big conversations, put us in big conversations, and then not ask fair questions. It feels like people are more than happy to criticize other fans. They're more than happy to criticize players, but then you don't want to ask questions of the manager, who's actually made us believe more than ever since we moved to the Emirates Stadium and in this era that we can win the league title. We've taken it down to the last day of the season. Last year was a complete write-off and failure of many circumstances. You're
Yeah.
crumbling right at the end. We all hope that we look back at this live stream and say, you know what, DG and Jess, you lot jumped the gun. You was that angry and all of those things. We want that. But something has to change at some point. You've been given money. People have come in. You've gone from a head coach to a manager. You've given us some good nights out. As I keep saying, you've made us competitive. But getting over the line, you might not be that guy. You might not be a winner. We might have to have a divorce for Arsenal to win a league. You might have to go for you to achieve what you need to achieve in this life. You might have to go. Sometimes that's just life, you know. It can't
Well,
always be beginning to the end.
Arteta would have never survived anywhere else that's considered a top team, like a big club. He would have never survived at any of those big clubs because he hasn't delivered anything. Inzaghi at least delivered Inter something, and then ended up going through last season trophyless. Was embarrassed in the Champions League final. And bottled the league, if that's what you want to call it, let Napoli sweep it out from underneath their feet, got rid of him, and they're most likely going to win the league this season with their new coach, So, and people make fun of Serie A and say it's not a serious league or whatever. The Premier League, Premier League, Premier League. Arteta has the cushiest job in world football because he doesn't have to deliver anything, and people still listen to him. People clutching their pearls over Arsenal fans booing. They should have been booing for a long time. They should have
And
been
these same
booing
fans
for a
praise you
long
up and down the
time.
country. So if they want to boo, they can boo.
Yeah, just let them like, they should be able to boo
They
and
praised you
be
against City. You lost.
unhappy with what they're seeing, but Arteta's been very comfortable for a long time. He's probably not going to go anywhere, but what will end up happening is the apathy will happen, where it's already setting in, where what if you don't feel like you can make a change or nothing's going to change, but you don't like what you're seeing, you're just going to be a lot less invested in what's going on. And so he'll be begging for the fans to bring lunches and shit again next season, and it's not gonna land, So I don't know, but Arteta's a good coach, and there's no doubt in my mind that he has done quite a bit to get us to where we are.
Big you up
But
for that.
I'm over that now. Like, why haven't you haven't even won a Karabuki, bro? Like, no Karabukis. no FA Cups, nothing. Like you got into one final. That's shocking to me. That's beyond the Prem, because the Prem is like you got to be the best team. You know, you have to be better than everyone else. I get that. That could be really difficult over a 30-something game period. But you can't even scam a cup. Not even scam it. Something's up. Something's up. And like Josh is saying, like, don't show up for games. The amount of times that I've seen this team not show up in do or die moments, that alone, I need Arteta gone just for that. Why are they not up for Carabao Cup final? Why are they not
Why
up
are
for
you
it?
not up for it?
Yeah, like why are they not up for it? What is it about you that's not inspiring this team? Because you can't get rid of the whole team, but I can get rid of you. You can't get rid of the whole team. You can't. You know, and maybe the only way to keep some of our better players that are probably disillusioned is to go out there and get a winner. You know, because I
Good
would
thing
not
they've
be
all signed big
surprised.
contracts, to be fair.
You have to do something. But they're afraid to move because they're, you know, I feel like when you're confident and you know you're running, you have a well-oiled machine, you can make big decisions because you're confident in your process. I think people that have analysis paralysis or just stay in the same situation for a long time don't trust themselves to make big decisions when the pressure is on. And I think that's more of the reason why they keep Arteta, because they feel like reaching for more is more risky than keeping us where we're at right now.
Not
And
taking a risk is a risk.
yeah, exactly. And basically what will end up being, and this is no shade to them because they could bop us in the next round of the Champions League, but we'll end up being Atletico Madrid, where we may win something every once in a while, and we'll have this
I mean, at
manager
least
for
they
10
only got
years.
2 league titles. Like,
Yeah, and they do, but that's kind of what will be, where Arsenal fans, or at least for me, I'm trying to get back to being top of the Premier League, not the guy that's fighting to claw my way. And but if we go, you know, if we go with nothing, it's, you know, we tried, and I'm not trying to do all that. And
I don't
that's
want to
not
hear
to
that.
say them, because I get it. Simeone's won things, but it's the ethos of it that you're always, you know what it is? It's the perpetual underdog where you're always, and even if you're spending money, even if you got ballers, even if the everything, you know, it's we're the underdogs. And I don't think Arsenal are an underdog. I think that's not how I view my team. Is that how you view Arsenal as an underdog? Because I
No,
don't.
I just want to win shit. I'm at the point. I just want to win shit. Like, I don't really care if we're underdogs, we're these guys. I just think we flirted with the idea of getting over the line. We're closer to getting over the line than the other way, and we keep trying to do the same things. And it's annoying. And I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, big up Grim Reaper because you're a mod. Yeah, but this is one thing that annoys me. Yeah, this comment. And I've spoken about this before, so I'd love to get your thoughts. I honestly think these conversations should be until after the season. There are 5 games to go. If we was running away with the league and we was talking about a new deal and whatnot, even if we kept playing the same stinky way, nobody's gonna sit there and say these conversations should be said at the end of the year. If you don't, I'm not saying I'm not attacking you, but if you don't want to hear it, you're gonna have to leave, mate, because I don't know what else to tell you. It's nothing. Us fans speaking, it doesn't mean anything. The players have to go and get it done. We have lost our last 2 domestic games, right? Against
Yeah.
Bournemouth, against City. The fans cheered. The fans have cheered. The fans at the Emirates have cheered you all season. You lost both them games. Fair enough. One was at home, one was away. The performance was there against City, so you got applause. You're going to get booed and things. And if manager, the players, if you lot can't handle the pressure when it's bad and everything's going wrong, then there's issues. What do you think is meant to happen at Liverpool, at Arsenal, at Manchester United? If you go up to the upper echelons of this, of Real Madrid, of Barca, even a couple of clubs that were bigger than in France, I see them Marseille man move mad. Like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to talk the talk, and unfortunately, yeah, one thing that isn't necessarily these lot's faults, but everything we've been critical of, you haven't won the trophy, the Premier League, in 20 odd years. There's that stigma around you, and obviously with what you've done, and I make Jess right, yeah. Even if, as much as we want to be at the top, win everything, chase that, yeah, there's been multiple occasions in the last 4 years. Everyone would agree in the last 4 years we've had an opportunity to win a Premier League, maybe 2, maybe 3,
Yeah.
maybe even 4 on the spin, and pick up domestic cups. So dead. Like, but what do you make of, because there is that logic as well, just about
Yeah, no,
this.
I get that, but at the same time, I would say that the fact that these conversations are being had gives you it's that's the answer for you. Like we should still be feeling like we have a chance, but the fact that most people have already fast forwarded to the the doom and gloom shows you everything you need to know about what people think about Mikel Arteta and this team. That's just the truth. It's just the dooming started a long time ago. I get it that we can possibly still win it, but we all know. We all know.
It's out of man's hand now, man. Like
Yeah,
again, keep fighting to the death, but it's out
I
of your
get
hands
it.
now, and it shouldn't be here, bro. You've had
Yeah, we shouldn't be
opportunities.
here. Yeah, because it's just, yeah, I get it. But if
It's
you ask me,
unexcusable, players and the
yeah,
manager.
do you believe that we can do it? No. Even if something is mathematically
But I hope, but
doable,
believe.
I don't believe it's going to happen.
You have
So
our
that's
support,
just,
but believe Smith.
yeah, that's just what it is. But yeah, ultimately, I don't know. I think that, as Arsenal, what do you want to be? I'm seeing people say it's entitled to think that we should be more than just like an underdog clawing at the top.
Gaslighting.
I don't necessarily agree, but even if we are an underdog, we should be able to win a Carabao Cup here and
Wait,
there.
no, just sorry to cut you. Scratch that. Wait, because I think you're talking about this comment. How is that entitlement? Because this is the word. Like, I'm a big fan of actually listening to what people are saying. How is that entitlement? Like, how? Because by all means, criticize what Jess has said with me, but how does that, like,
Yeah,
how does that make you entitled?
but
She ain't
here's
said
the
we were
thing
the biggest
too.
and bullies and that.
Yeah, but this is the thing too. It's if you guys are okay with being a perennial underdog, don't chat to anyone.
Yeah,
Don't chat ever. Don't talk about Mikel being anything. Don't talk about this team being anything. Don't nothing. Nothing. Then
stop trying to
we
sit at the
can't
big boy
always be
table.
talking like we're up here, but then when there's something that you have to do in order to prove, then it's like, nah, we're underdogs though. We're underdogs though. You should never expect to win anything because we're underdogs. Nah, I'm not trying to hear that. When I started watching Arsenal, we were not underdogs. We weren't. We were maybe underdogs in comparison to what Sir Alex Ferguson had built, but our Arsenal went toe to toe with him with no money for a minute. So that's all I'm saying is this is not the Arsenal that I remember. And even if we are perennial underdogs, Simeone, like you guys have said, don't disrespect him, has won things. Arteta is being spoken about like he's Pep, but he hasn't even won what Simeone has won.
Like he's
So
doing us
I'm
a
not trying
favor.
to, it's a disconnect. You guys don't act like underdogs because when it comes down to it, you're always chatting. And I get it. We can go back and forth with Spurs and stuff like that. I get that. Go back and forth here and there. But ultimately, we can't really talk to many people because we're not really winning. So I'm not really trying to hear that. It's like, I want people to respect us, but then when it comes down to it and you need to earn that respect, now we're underdogs. I'm not trying to hear that.
Exactly.
I
I'm not
don't
trying to
view
hear none of that.
Arsenal as underdogs. And maybe if I start to accept that, then what's the point?
My thing as well, Jess, is like a lot of people think for what it's worth, I don't think we're gonna see a Sir Alex Ferguson thing anymore. I don't think we're gonna see like what Manchester City have done, even with their money when Pep goes. That's dominance for me in it. Like that's dominance. I don't think we're going to see that. But there is this caveat of once we do finally get over the line, it's gonna kickstart bare things. My point is not even to debate that. The past brings regrets. In the last 4 years and counting, God forbid, but including this year, there's regrets. There's regrets since we've moved to the Emirates. There's a lot of uncertainty about the future. You don't know what tomorrow brings. Unfortunately, though, when something falls in our lap in the present moment, whether we've earned it, whether we've earned it or it's just randomly happened, like we didn't expect to be there in the 2022-23 season, we don't. Cool, we didn't expect to find this money. Let's put this in my wallet. Like I'm on the train, it's in my wallet, I'm gone. We don't seize the present moment. And I think for the players and Mikel Arteta, that's a fucking shame. Like, and it's not on. And what did I say to you in August? For me, I don't want to have these conversations. I said that. And I also don't want you lot to feel like how you've probably felt at some point in the Premier League when it's really done. Everybody's here has played sport of some degree. When you're in that dressing room, everybody's down and upbeat. That's regret. We have not been disciplined. We have not tried to transform ourselves, or it's not evident to me as a fan. Like I'm sure they are, but I'm not at London Coley, so it's jarring,
exactly.
man.
And again, I'm not trying to go back and forth, but when we talk about underdogs, and I get that we're going up against City, but my example of that is back then, objectively speaking, contextually speaking, relativity, Sir Alex Ferguson was Pep. when I started watching. They had everything. They had a great team.
They
They had
won
a
the
great
war. We
academy.
won 2
They
battles,
had
including at their
everything.
ground.
And Arsenal snatched a couple Premier Leagues from underneath them, and also was winning domestic cups. He didn't win the big Champions League, but I don't think you would ask Thierry Henry and say, so are we underdogs? They would never have said that,
Wenger got killed for less.
yeah, and maybe I'm just living in the past and I just can't accept it. But if there's only one team that's better than you, and there's 4 trophies on on offer, and they only win 2 of them or 3, we should win 1 of them. Like, we're not winning shit. That's what I'm saying. We should at least scrape us something. Like, we need
Everything's
to
been
get
geared towards
down on
winning,
our
but actually
faces
winning.
one time, man. Like, just once. And again, if Arteta had won anything in these last 6 seasons, 2 or 3 trophies, people would feel differently about him, but we haven't smiled at all at the end in May. It's getting long. I'm tired now. He's got to go. He's got to
And
go.
it's jarring, man, because that's the main thing. We haven't got over that.
Tired.
I just actually feel for the manager and these players, yeah. You lot should be going down in Arsenal history in some degree, whether that's the first Premier League or the Emirates era / in 20 odd years and counting, whether that's the first team to win the champs, couple of League Cups, extending the FA Cup, which, let's have it right, since we've won that, it's been atrocious. You lot are not going down in history, and you deserve to go down in it. Well, you don't, because you ain't done it, but that's the problem. And I make Jess right. Like, I do think there's a lot of natural football fans, like fans that are purists, that can have a laugh and a joke, regardless of clubs. They can speak about stuff. But there's also the casual football fan that wants naturally tribalism. I'm the best. We're the best thing since sliced bread. If you're gonna say that, then heads need to roll when things don't happen, especially because we've been close and we're collapsing at the end. Even if I take the basic view, whatever way it is, we all know, April's a shaky month for Arsenal generally in the last however many years. What are we seeing now? It feels a bit
We're never ready in April. In April, it always is collapsing, whether that's, a ton more injuries than you've ever seen, players just not looking up for it, poor results, like all of a sudden we
voting
can't
manager of the month as well, man.
doing. It's just gross. Like, April is disgusting, like every time. And it's like, at a certain point, I can't look at the players anymore. And yes, they have to take some responsibility, but ultimately I'm looking at, so we can't get rid of all of you. I'm tired of there being like an 8-person list that if we just get rid of these players and replace them, that Arteta had every opportunity to basically walk this league this season. Every opportunity to walk this league this season. He had one last season, couldn't do it because they didn't have the depth. This season, we had it again, and we didn't do it, So I'm just not trying to hear. And of course, we do still have to get rid of players. I understand that. But going again with him and giving him more money, knowing that the main issue is when we get to April, he can't get us over the line, because that's why you pay him $15 million a year. He's getting paid like the top managers in the world. And that's why you pay them, because they're the differentiating factor. If a coach didn't make a difference, put me on the sideline. The coach is one of the biggest differences you can make, and he's not doing it. He's not doing it.
And I know there's a fear that if he goes elsewhere, he'll succeed and all of these things. I don't doubt that, but sometimes you might have to just try something different. Like, how much of a percentage is on the players as well? I'm past it, like, because thank you for getting us here. You might have just, same way they say Arsene Wenger got the planning permission and all of that. You might have been the guy just to, to put a lick of paint. We're competitive again. I will never dish you for that, Mikel Arteta. If you just might not have it in you at this moment in time. There might be a next man and we get worse. There might be a next man that could even do I know it's short-term thinking, but could even do a slot last year. Like, I'm at Liverpool. Can't believe I could win a title here. Let me just run, get this done. Whatever happens, happens. We might be at that point. How much percentage for you is on the players, though?
I don't even know if it's like, it's 60% Arteta and it's 40% the players. I think they're both at fault.
1 million.
And they both have to, if we end up trophyless, they both have to hold that. I'm just looking at it like more like, who can I get rid of that's going to make the biggest difference moving forward? I do not think that these players are without any blame. The biggest thing, though, is Arteta chose every single one of these players, basically. I know there'll be people saying, but this wasn't his signing. This wasn't his signing. Like you said earlier.
It's only not his signing when it's the guys that don't work. It's always
Yeah,
them.
it's Pep has been able to work with players that aren't 100% Pep players, and he's still able to get something out of them. So I'm really not trying to hear any of that.
I don't want to hear no romance because it's Mighty Ducks Coach Carter settings right now. I don't want that
Yeah,
no more.
he got 8 players in the summer. He got 8 players in the summer. So I'm really like, I'm not hearing you. And we really only needed to do a couple of things. I think we could have had virtually the exact same defense, conceded a couple more goals. But if that attack had been exactly what we asked for, an actual left winger and a striker and Eze, we would have been fine. We still like somehow avoided the one position that we really needed. So because we wanted to get Madueke, because Madueke one is Chelsea will give us smaller payments, because we're cheap as fuck and we
And
don't
Rice
want
and
to.
Saka like him. Big up Noni,
Yeah,
but no one don't care about that.
yeah, and he's a project. He's a project, and I don't know if it's Arteta's ego, and he has to have a player that he's attributed to like making into something. I don't know what it is. But my goodness, can you not just buy somebody who's ready to fucking go? Like, somebody that we know is a baller. Like, I don't know. But I'm at the stage with Mikel now where it's like, you're the you've been here the whole time. You're the common denominator.
You're the common denominator at the moment.
Yeah, you're the common denominator. You have a completely different team than what you had before. So why am I acting like the players, obviously, some of them, their reps are shot to hell after this season. Like if they go with nothing, they can never chat again. Like they can never. I will never believe again in you specifically. But the manager chose all of these players. So I'm seeing people at the end of that game talking about Kai Havertz. I'm like, that's Arteta begged for him.
How can you get vexed?
Yeah, Arteta begged for him. Like, why are we still complaining about Kai? Like, Kai's not going to get any better? We know what he is. We know what he is. Like, I don't know. Arteta begged for that guy. When he saw that he was available, he went away from the Xhaka kind of profile and went for this, whatever it is. What do you want to call it? Second striker bullshit, whatever, to put in our midfield.
And he weren't even trying to run him up front. We all know Kai can play up front, but you tried to make him replace Granit. Granit and Welbeck, by the way, still walk into our team. You have to hold that. Like what just said there. I'm not getting vexed.
Scores? I'm always shocked. Whenever the ball goes in the back of the net when Kai scores, I'm like, oh, he scored. Because I always assume it's not going in the back of the net. So why am I going to be
for Kai, if I'm honest?
Kai shit, Kai's this, Kai's that. We've been known that. Arteta spent 60-something million on him after we had almost won the league.
And we needed sure bets in the final third, so you bring in another one. That's why I don't get vexed at Noni. Noni, I don't get vexed at you. Obviously, you need to do better and all of that, but you're a project, quote unquote, that I didn't think we needed. I'm more looking at the gaffer, and I've been saying that you need to make it work. Obviously, you've brought in, Kai Havertz, like you said. I actually think he done all right against City. Of course, the 2 chances on knife edge, he fell to bag, and there was obviously where Trossard's put that ball in. But you look at our attack. Nobody's a shoot. The only surprise, we've only had about 3 or 2.5 surprises in attack this season. We've seen Martinelli be a bit of a super sub, stocks kind of high. Trossard season generally until the turn of the year. That's been the only kind of Max Dowman. They're the only surprises. If anything, we're not shocked. We're shocked if these guys score. We're shocked if they don't. The only negative surprise is Saka. And you've probably been older shit kind of season from you. That's the only thing I'm surprised about. Yeah. Defense wins games. Defense wins titles. Goals win games. We have not got that. And what I don't understand is we've got a very good defensive ethos as a team, the way we press, the shape, all that kind of jazz. Personnel-wise, we know about the people in defense. And you've got Rice. Why not gamble a bit more? You see, like what we saw in terms of the performance in the first half against City, where we've gone man-to-man to the point where we said there's a trade-off. Haaland might get 1v1, but we might win something here. Eze's going to let us down defensively, which he did, but he's going to give us something. The man-to-man pressing, that's too late. That should have been there time ago. That should have been there at the beginning of the season. Newcastle, ironically, we're playing Newcastle on Saturday, yeah? Newcastle away is still the best I think we've performed in the league, regardless of if we've thumped teams up or not.
Yeah.
Only got themselves to blame, man.
Yeah,
you've run your midfield into the ground. You've not used other people's first final in 6 years. Even if you believe in Kepa, you better make sure you win. That tells me you're putting feelings above the team. So everything good and bad is on you, Gaffer.
And also, Arteta, your back being against the wall and me seeing you use Eze and Odegaard together really just showed me everything I need to know, because that should have always been the play. I don't know why Eze only played on the left like once or twice at the very beginning of the season. And all of a sudden it was like, I'll never play him there. And there were times where he was on the bench and
You
other
have to be
people were
forced to do
playing.
these things.
Yeah, and you doing that when your back is against the wall tells me everything, because you knew that you had to get a result there and you did the right thing and played the right group, and you kind of got results, but it's just pissed me off because it's like we've been known that shit. We've been known Eze should have been playing on the left. We've been known that. Like he is better on the left than both Martinelli and Trossard. I'm
Or just
sorry.
play him, Odegaard, and Rice. And
Yeah,
Zubi
just
looks
play
great.
them all together. If you have an opportunity to play Eze and Odegaard together, you should. Because
You need to build
Odegaard can get
different
us up the pitch
relationships.
and Eze can score goals. Like, what are we doing here? Like, he just annoys me so bad because he just does nonsense, man. But I'm done. Like with Arteta, I'm tired, Like, I don't believe in you, dog. Like, I really don't. I don't
We
believe
entered
in you,
the
dog.
season on borrowed time. Everybody, manager, players, it was time to deliver. So don't flip it now, people. Again, I don't want to hear it. I'm more than anyone. I'm more than happy to sit about contexts and give people their praise and their critique, but it's about the bottom line and delivering now. The project is done. We've rebuilt the team. It's just become about winning. And at this moment in time, Arteta has shown an inability to do that. Now, in the 7 games left in all comps, the 5 we've got in the Premier League, and the 2 in the Champions League as a minimum, potentially 3, obviously. So 7 to 8 games. I hope it all goes right. But we've been talking about this from last season. We've been talking about it from August till now. And now all the chickens have come to roost, really. So
Yeah, I'm sick
it's
of
out of
it.
your hands now.
Players are broken down that we've said we're getting broken down. They're broken into itty bitty little pieces. They can barely walk. It's just you got an attack that we've been complaining about for years is barely scoring at this point. Like I remember bringing that up probably a couple months ago, that they were all in like single digits except for like Jokeris. They were like in single digits for
They're
goals.
taking him to the
Like,
end of the year, really.
yeah. And yeah, but we share
Eternally.
the goals. At the end of the day, your defender should be fucking defending and your attacker should be freaking scoring. Everything is backwards with us. Like everything is backwards. Remember we were talking about Timber and these guys in half spaces, but you can't find your wingers. Your wingers are in fullback spots. Like he's just lost the plot.
And if you're gonna do this,
He
I'm more
lost.
than happy. Just make it work, because that was the thing. Nobody's happy with the way we play football. I think entertainment's subjective. I don't necessarily care about entertainment because I've seen us be entertaining and not get over the line. But it's just about over the line. So if the football's not up to par, you're not getting the
Yeah.
best out of your tools. You're not delivering. We're kind of watching the same movie on repeat. You've got to ask questions, because I actually don't think I do think our players have a mentality problem, but I think it's like a
100.
new mentality problem. I don't think it's you wet the bed, like whatever Troy Deeney used to say. But when it's do or die, sink or swim, we're in issues. And even that, yeah, I said this yesterday, just for me, we don't actually have that many lows in the season. We don't lose that much. But when the lows come, the lows are very low. Arteta talks a lot about small and fine margins and all of these things, which are right. We're never on the right side of those. PSG, we weren't on the right side. Half the time when there's a lot of possession and it looks even with our eyes, we're not on the right side. Sometimes it comes down to basic competencies. Kai Havertz, you've had 2-3 chances, you haven't bagged the goal we've required. City have. Other than that, it's quote unquote maybe a bit even. It's issues. And in terms of the learning, one thing that peed me off is you took too long to bring on Gyökeres. When you did, we didn't commit to finding him. So you were not knowing how to use certain individuals. And to a degree, you have to let your nuts hang. Eze, I actually think Eze had a bit of a mixed game, but there was a point he started to drop
Yeah.
shoulders, he's hit the post. Leave the man on the pitch. You
Yeah,
took him
I
off.
didn't really understand why he
No
took
one
him
does.
off. Like, I didn't get it. I was like, you could have taken off Zubi. He was doing the least. I was like, just take off Zubi, that you can
Take
still
off a
progress the
fullback,
ball.
risk it.
He was just so, I don't know. With Arteta, I don't know how you feel about it. I would love to know, but do you think that a different manager, are they just weak-minded and the players will have to be replaced, or do you think with a new manager they could just do something? Because I
I
do
think we
feel like a coach can change everything, but there is something in me that also thinks these players have been purchased by Mikel because they're weak and they're followers or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just can a manager really change their mentality that much? Because damn, they're weak.
There just needs to be fresh ideas for me, man. There needs to be fresh ideas. I'm sure I'm making this sound very easy, but a manager could come in, look at the base of what Arteta's got, the defensive ethos. I don't want to lose Nicholas Hover if Arteta goes, but I think someone could look and say, just play with a bit more freedom. I do think they're behind Arteta. I do think they do all of that, but I just think new ideas now because it is kind of predictable. You just need new ideas. We just need someone else that has new ideas. And I think there's people like you and me who, can be critical of the team and the manager, but also praise equally, and we all have different opinions. But when we're all done, whether this one likes Arteta, that one doesn't, this, that, and the other, we all can recognize we've had another good chance at the Premier League. And we look at this crop of players and like, you can win something. I'm not saying you're going to be City or Man United. You need to do something different. We need to. We're not creating enough from open play. We're losing a bit of the street smartness. The in-game management was a step in the right direction. In fact, no, it wasn't really. Obviously, I'm a hypocrite because I said Arteta changed things, but that just sums up what I believe of you, Arteta. We know we're playing Manchester City. I don't doubt you will learn from previous games like you did. I do think you learned from the final, right? You've planned on something all week. You've approached it. The performance was quite there, but in-game management, fair enough, you took off Noni, but add kind of what you just said there about Eze and things. These are the things that have been shooting him in the foot. And then when you look at some point, we're getting into the most decisive end of the season where it is sink or swim and then sentiment's a bit negative. We don't have players that we can call upon because A, they either not good enough or B, they've been run into the ground. This whole movie keeps happening. I don't think Arteta can be blamed for just everything, but ultimately, it's all your fault. Like, it is all your fault. If this was a business, I might be the CEO. I might not be there in the day-to-day business, but it's my name on it. Indirectly, everything's there. Everything off the field, let alone on the pitch, is a reflection of you. Even down to, I've never once, not that I'm saying Emre was the guy, but I've never once heard Emre got a say to take off the thing in the stadium, the tunnel and whatnot. There's that. Now I've kind of checked out because you're going to get to run down your contract. I don't know who they're going to get other than that. I don't know what the internal KPIs are, but externally, we all know we want to win. So it's all a big bit of nonsense. But as you said, and which to answer your question, yes, it's easier to get rid of one man than about 20. Don't get it twisted. We all know not everybody can go because it's all fun and games saying 8-man leave. We need to have depth and all of that. But there's very few players that are unsellable, quote unquote. Like if it's not Saliba, Gabriel, Raya,
That
Rice,
list is
Saka.
getting smaller and smaller
You see what I'm
as
saying?
time goes on. And it's just like, I don't want to talk about, I don't get excited talking about who we could buy in the summer because I just know they'll all be shit under this manager because no one really looks good under him now. Like, so it's like, even if you were a baller, eventually the Mikel will rub off on you. I want a new manager. Like, that's
Man,
it.
are calling Saliba overrated, bro.
But I
Okay, he
feel like
might.
that's the thing. It's like the players are always the issue when people don't want to just look at the manager.
And how often than not had Saliba made the difference? Saliba turned up on last Sunday. Saliba's probably, I said for me, Saliba and Gyökeres, the only ones that fucking turned up at Wembley. And even if that's the case, why are they folding under pressure? It has to come back to the gaffer directly or indirectly. They're all behind. And again, make no mistake, I'm onto the players as well because you all talk about how you want to end our drought. You don't want to be empty-handed. You believe in the manager. You've all signed big deals. You like what's going on. I can't doubt you lot's willingness to fall down and get up again. But come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah, you
Allow
got
it,
it.
man.
Yeah. And this whole like, okay, well, we're competing and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, what's competing when you're playing terrible football and you're not enjoying and you're not, it's just kind of like it gets long at a certain point. When we were under like Arsenal in the darkest of times, we still won FA Cups and we were in the top four, which is basically what we're doing now. It's like
In the game,
at the end of
bro.
the day, we're taking home a top four finish. And we actually enjoyed sometimes watching our team play. I don't enjoy watching this team play. They're not winning anything. They're always injured. It's just like, if we're just going to be competing, kind of, and making top four, I would prefer to get somebody in here that can win an FA Cup
win now, bro.
and at least I want to at least enjoy watching us play because Arteta is like sucked the life out of whatever he built. He sucked the life out of it. There's no energy to it anymore. The players aren't responding. The football is terrible. There's clear problems. Like,
This is why football works in cycles.
yeah, it's like I just need him to hit the road. I really need him to pack his shit. And like if he doesn't have enough personal pride to pack his shit if he doesn't win anything, he's the most devious person I've ever met because it's just
He's not,
like,
because he's gonna believe he could do it.
God,
Because now I
no,
think there's an
he
arrogance to
can't.
kind of just do it in this image, like change shit and different shit happens.
And maybe that's the problem is he believes too much in his own vision, and he's just like, it will work, but it won't. I don't think you really need to recreate the wheel. It's just you just have to have a dangerous attack, a really good defense, and the right mentality, and be able to be consistent over a certain amount of time.
Is he even listening to his coaching stuff for you? Because I mean, it was a
Oh,
critic. It was known with Wenger in his first half that he listened to his coaching stuff and he kind of stopped. Pep Guardiola is the best example of listening to your coaching stuff. He brought people in. Is he really listening to his coaching stuff? Maybe it's the blind leading the blind, but maybe they're sitting there and having these conversations like us, like, yo, why ain't this happening, that happening? So are people challenging donks? Because Berta, big up yourself. You've given out, you've come in, you've got your feet wet. Yeah, cool. I would say this summer you need to challenge him. There's no more Kais. There's no more nonnies. Everything has to fucking make sense. Even
yeah,
though I don't even want to talk about next season.
yeah. It's like the players. If he's here, I just know it's going to be a mess. Because he's still doubling down, and I get like, who cares about the way that we play as long as we win? But we're not. So if we're not going to
This is
win,
the
I get to
problem.
talk about the way that we're playing, because the whole thing about not talking about the way that we're playing was, but because we're going to win. We're not. It doesn't look like we are.
It's out your
So
hands
now I
now.
can talk about the way
Keep
that we're
writing, bro.
playing. This football is shit. It's so bad. It's so hard to watch. And I think it's a big reason why the players don't have any energy and no invention or anything. They look like they look like they're going to a funeral every day that they step on the pitch for Arsenal.
They start apart from the City game, since the international break, you look like little kids that have lost your mum in the supermarket. I'm tired of what, and that's
Yeah,
one thing
what
I'll
the
say
fuck
to
am
the
I
players, bro.
watching?
It's the same old individuals that stand up to be counted. Even if they're dead, they're levels above their teammates. And you can't have that if you want to
Yeah,
get to that next level. We've not
yeah,
reached that new level because we've not collectively become something we've never been before.
yeah. Because it really does, like, it's really one of those things where now if we end up not winning anything, this whole idea that the way that we're playing makes sense will all fall apart,
It don't
because
make sense.
it doesn't make sense because it's not dominating. And I guess my question to people that have been like very like behind the, because when we were in 23-24, we got a little bit more pragmatic, but we were still able to smash
And
teams
we
and
needed
score
to do that
quite a bit of goals. So that's fine. Like, I get that. But we've regressed even further
the last
while
2 years.
other teams are able to win, playing good football and being dominant. And I'm just like, so can we stop the lie that we have to play this like horrendous style in order to like win? Because City play a better football than we do. They don't play the best football in the world, but they do play better football. And if they beat us to the league, all of this will
There's
be
teams
for
below
nothing.
us that play better than us.
Yeah, I mean, like, my eyes are bleeding every week. I cannot watch this anymore. And Arteta's just going to double down again. He's going to
Exactly. And
double
then for,
down
as
again.
for Rice saying it's not over on the pitch, yeah, listen, big up Rice. It isn't over, but that's the least of my worries. Just
I'm
go
not trying
win
to
the
hear
games.
that, bro.
I think it makes sense if you don't have to compete with City and Pep, but that's the beast you got to slay. I hear that. And what did you say there? That's the beast you've got to slay. Yeah. This is why I said at the beginning, you have to strike when your opponent's weak, because it's only now everyone wants to do that romantic shit again about how Arsenal are fighting. And it's true. Arsenal are fighting the juggernaut City side. They've got all of this. They weren't saying that until the international break. We was running away with things. We've allowed them to get their act together. We probably should have beat them at our place, let alone what's going on now. And when going back to sink or swim, the performance, in my opinion, was positive at the Etihad. You didn't win. The League Cup, you didn't win. City in the first half of the season, the shittest they've been, you didn't win. I've seen years where, like this year, we've been a bit patchy against the top six. Prior to that, the last 2 years, maybe even three, we've been very competitive against the top six. So there's little inklings. But now it's about getting over the line. I don't care about, and even Arteta said it, I don't really care about the statistics, more points than the Invincibles, back-to-back semis, Arsenal the first team for this. That reflects that we're a good team. But we've been knowing that. We're not
No,
getting
but
over the line.
Arteta can never really say that, because that's the exact stuff that he's using
He needs to
to
shut up about that if that's the case.
tell the fans that we should be happy about where we are. Because him
No.
sitting out here talking about, enjoy where we are, is because he will go back and say, yeah, well, we did this more than the Invincibles. We've had more wins. You ain't done nothing. You haven't
So
done
what are
anything.
we then?
Damn.
Because what did you say there, Just? Them man are Invincibles. What are you lot?
Yeah, I don't
What are
care
you?
about any
What
of
have you
that.
lot won?
I want to enjoy the way I want to enjoy our team playing, because when I'm watching, I don't want my eyes bleeding, and I want the sun to shine on us every once in a while. I can actually accept that City will probably win more than us in whatever period because they have a
Words
better
that you
manager
said.
and a better team. That does not mean we cannot win a single thing in 6 years. That does not mean that we have to play the worst football I've ever seen this team, this club play. So that's where I draw the line. It's you haven't won jack shit.
And even
So
this about playing poorly in the first half of the season. Obviously, there's mitigating circumstances in the first half of the season. You're trying to get your act together. It's stupid. I don't think Mikel Arteta or the players are sitting there and saying we can't do this in the first half of the season, bro. Nobody's giving you 3 points. It's all cop outs and copium. We were shit at the start of the season, but we was getting results. We have been kind of ticking over. There's been some good nights out. Typically, it's been bleak since the international break or since the Everton game. It's all gone downhill, and we've not been able to stop the route until it's too late. So then it leads me to ask you, just like obviously the momentum domestically is still poor, yeah, but does the performance against City give you any confidence, no matter what you feel about the manager, that we can get back to winning ways, starting against Newcastle and potentially going on some sort of a run in what's left of this season?
no.
Bloody hell.
And we played better, and it means so little when you lose. We did play better, but ultimately, do I believe that on Saturday we'll fully cede all control to City and be behind them? Yeah, I do. I just think this team wants, as much as they are telling themselves that they believe and they want to keep going, they'll be happy almost for it to be over. So I think their mentality will always will always be what they can do. So of course they could beat Newcastle and play well and all those types of things. They've always been able to do those things. But will they? No, they will not. It's done. Like, it's the mentality they got into our heads when they beat Liverpool. That was, I think they did it around like the same time that we fucked around against Wolves. They just kind of, they're in our heads. They're in
Not
the
to mention
manager's
Chelsea
heads, they're
away
in
as
our
well.
heads, and ultimately this team usually is like, will start playing good again once it's fully done. So I think they'll play bad until it's fully done.
And then it's
Sorry.
too little, too late. City haven't lost a domestic game in over 3 months. So again, you've allowed them to get their act together. And at the end of the day, you got to do it. Man City are responsible for each of the last 5 post-Christmas comebacks in Premier League title races. And even that, you've worked with Pep Guardiola. You've seen in the last 4 years like how to get this league over the line. Just in terms of learning from your own lived experiences and from other people. Jurgen Klopp, cool. Jurgen Klopp won a Prem, but there was also times where Liverpool done bloody brilliant. A bit like you, where you've
Yeah, yeah,
points amassed, you've not won it. You would have won it in other years. There's no excuses, bro. There's no excuses, man. But I'm choosing to keep believing, because if not, what's the effing point of watching anymore? You can keep saying just believe, 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 and I hope we go and do it. Me, I believe in what I can see. Keyword is support. I will always watch Arsenal. We could be non-leaguers or top of the league, yeah, and I'll still watch us. I am going to watch. I'm going to support. But do I believe we're going to get over the line? No. And you lot can keep saying these blanket statements with no
yeah.
fucking evidence and as copium. I hope you lot win the Fan Olympics. You lot are believing when it's looking left and we go and win the title. By all means, go and catch up, come and catch us and get on to us. Dead.
It's
History
just,
isn't kind.
I mean, they've spent so little time since we've been challenging at the top. We've spent so much time at the top, but they've left with everything. You can't, I feel like this is one of those times where if you're one of those fans that just believes in believing and all that kind of stuff, you got to give some grace to fans that are feeling some type of way. You just have to at this point. This whole time has been be positive. Arteta's amazing. Keep believing. Keep doing this.
We have been positive until the international
Yeah,
break.
you have to like let
After
people be upset about something. I feel like it's like they just, because I know what y'all are gonna do. We won't win. You'll have your excuses. We'll go into the transfer window, and then you'll pretend like this never happened and start again.
they love it,
And
because them man there just love the journey. Just they love
yeah,
it. They
and
love
I'm
it. They
not.
don't want to get over the line.
Yeah, I need something to change this summer in order for me to feel like I can go again, because this is abuse. this is abuse. Like this is an abusive relationship. Like I can't. Because you know what? For me personally, this is just me speaking. Even if we weren't winning the Premier League, if this man would deliver a domestic trophy here and there, I would be a lot more like cool. But
Well, there's been an
it's
excuse not to
been
do that.
darkness this whole time. You can't do what you're doing, sitting at the top every year and then collapsing in April, but give
It's the
me
hope that kills.
nothing in it can't. And then also we play terrible football, bro. Like, give it a rest. Give people a chance. People should be mad at the end of the season. And I think the positive polys should be quiet for a minute and allow people to just have their emotions, you know? I
And I
don't wanna
don't,
win the
yeah,
fan Olympics. I wanna be real for,
exactly.
like, 5 seconds, like, let me have this, like,
Not
I'm
even that.
tired.
Like, man, just saying belief for what reason? If I got a test and I ain't been revising, or I've been revising half-heartedly, I haven't been sleeping, I've got no routine. I meant to just go believe. If I'm trying to get my driver's license and I've been inconsistent with lessons, I meant to just go believe. The only belief is via the performances. And I think a lot of us fans, I'm not talking about the opposite ends of the spectrum, the mad negative ones, the mad positive. Those of us in the middle that feel one way about one player, this about Arteta, that. One thing we've all united again about here is we can get over, like we've got a good opportunity, and we've been there. Cool, there's been some lows, like Forest away. We've been bitching about a lot of stuff, but we've been ticking over. We've been behind you lot. We've even conceded the football. Like, yo, you get over the line. We're being shameless. Yo, it's like George Graham, etc. We're only now negative because we got to our first League Cup final, you shat the bed. Unacceptable in a cup final. But all right, cool, it keeps moving. You didn't different team and whatnot. You didn't react against Southampton. Cool, you're through in the Champions League. We've taken our hat off. You lot told us be up for the Bournemouth game. Everybody that needed to be up for the Bournemouth game, apart from the ones that actually needed to, were not there. And then cool, you've given us something with City, in which fans that were in Manchester done this. It's too little, too late. It is now out of your hands. I've said it, and I do believe it. City will drop points. But with what we've just said and what we've seen, we can't buy a win right now, let alone be talking
Yeah.
about winning the next 5, let alone, if we can score 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. That's not me being positive or negative. That's just me using my own fucking eyes. So no, I won't sit here and just say belief in the same way I won't just bitch about stuff for no reason. You've made a difficult task even more impossible.
For sure. I mean, they just I think for me, like, I really started to be like, "Oh, shit." Like, when we drew to Wolves, I was like, "That's just not a good
I thought it
sign."
was done there.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck, it's just done," because we could have went, like, what, 10 points clear at that point? Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of conversations they've been having team meetings since they barely beat Wolves at home. And there's been barely any change. You know, like our performances are very much so like whether or not the other team has enough to beat us because we're not really beating them, you know. So it's just tough at this stage. I don't know. I get it that people want to be positive and stuff like that, but like Pep is just inevitable at this point. He knows we're a wounded animal.
It smells blood, bro.
They beat us head to head twice. Um, they got players in form. Who's in form for Arsenal? That's a good question. Who is in form?
As a Dalman when he plays, technically Jokeres.
I mean, even the defense, which I'm not even blaming them, can't keep clean sheets. They're giving up almost 2 goals a game now
And that's the
in
whole
April.
collective team. Football decided in both ends.
Yeah.
So just believe. I'm never gonna be. Me and Jess could go on TikTok right now. Yeah, follow. Make sure you're subscribing to Jess and go follow her on TikTok or whatnot. We can get that classical kind of music and get to close to the camera and say, "Just believe, guys. Arsenal are going to do it." Like I see this cringy bullshit, and I hope you lot are right. I want you to win the Fan Olympics, but I don't mean nothing. Give me one thing to be positive about, other than, because the only positive I can say is, until it's over, it's not over, in it. That's it. But the performances, the putting on results, April, momentum being the biggest thing at this moment in the season, that is there with City. It's not here with us. They literally outweighed.
Yeah, we
Like,
never. Have you guys noticed that whenever we get to this point in the season, we don't got no players that are in the form of their lives? You know, they always have at least 1 or 2 players that pop up at the end of the season and have like it was like their Gundogan and stuff like that. Bernardo Silva outran Kai Havertz the other day. They have O'Reilly, who's popped up randomly and is winning them games, and Shirky out just doing what they got to do, you
And
know.
Rodri and Bernardo were bloody brilliant against us.
Yeah, but these our best player and our star boy is not there. He's injured, and that's it. It just is what it
And
is.
even if these man come back, they've been crap. So what's
Yeah,
going on?
it's like ain't nobody's in the form of their lives. We don't have anybody popping up doing anything special, winning us games. It's just it's long. If I was like, who do you guys think will score against Newcastle? You guys would probably take a million. I don't know, because you don't know. City fans will say, I think Holland will score. We don't
Who's
know.
had his form, lost it, found it again, momentum.
Yeah, nobody's in the form of their lives. Everybody's dropped off of a cliff. They look like they can barely walk. It's just dark. So listen, at the end of the day, the season will end and there'll be some nasty conversations had if we don't win anything. But I think Arteta has done enough.
Is it
He's the
time to
guy
start
before the
gassing out the
guy.
Champions
It's
League?
giving Brendan Rodgers.
Is it time to start gassing the Champions League now?
There is no way we'll win that. We have less of a chance of winning 3 games and winning Champions League, than winning the league.
How's our women doing? Because our under 15s have won a cup in China. How's our women doing? Because I'm still
I mean,
rolling to a parade.
Arsenal women have shown that they can go into a do or die situation and win against people that are better than them multiple times. They beat Lyon and they beat Barcelona. They came back from behind against Real Madrid last season. Nobody chat to me about the women because they win. They're not on a trophy drought. They've changed managers and still been able to win. So they've had
And they're
injuries.
probably mentally free because
Yeah,
of
so
getting
F that.
trophies.
Oh, and they don't play the worst football that you've ever seen. Because Renee believes in the recipes from our ancestors. She believes. So, or like, please, nobody speak to me. The women, they have an opportunity to win things. The men, they won't. It'll be the hardest 3 games of their lives. Yeah, because that's basically what it is, right? 2 games against Atletico Madrid and then a final. Yeah.
What do you think of this? Obviously, big up Karma in the chat, but like Grim Reaper said in response to Karma, like forget the Karma point. That was Karma. That was a lovely response. I'm on that train. If we give up now, then we are weak. We can criticize the players, but we have no choice but to believe because we're in a good position.
Listen,
Are we in a good position?
I get that. And listen, if we were in a coma and we had not seen anything this season and we woke up today and this is the situation that we were in, we'd take it. But we know you can't remove the context around the season and the fact that City were terrible at the beginning and have found a way to catch us up and we have collapsed. And I get that's like it's the fans, but I feel like people put a lot of pressure and onus on the fans. And then when it comes down to it, be like, yeah, but we didn't believe in this and that. Make us believe. The fans have gone before the teams for 4 years now, where it's been ultimate belief, always behind. They're asking too much of the fans at this point. They've done absolutely nothing this season to keep people on
The
side.
fans have
So
supported up and down the country. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. It's
it's
down to you lot now.
yeah, and the thing is they play some of the most anxiety inducing football that you can play. So if you're scoring goals and attacking and when you concede, you go right down there and get shots, the Emirates will be up for it. But you guys sit at the halfway line passing it sideways and backwards, and Raya's on the ball more than an attacking midfielder. It's just
Take man on, clamp someone, have a shot, get the fans up
do
for the team.
something. It's hard, but listen, the fans, they'll be behind them. They will, but we're having a
And we're
conversation
behind
about
them,
how
but
we're
it's just
feeling.
belief.
Like, yeah, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say that I don't think we're cooked.
And I
We're
don't lie
close.
again. And to Fidu, forgive me again. I said it at the beginning. Yeah, away from the obvious, the performance gives me some confidence. You know, you play like that against Newcastle, you've got a good chance. Since the international break, that's been the best way we've played. Unfortunately, though, we never got the 3 points. So, and more than anything, the approach in the first half. Like now, I saw Arteta gamble. As I said, I wanted that in the first half of the season. So that gives me that was a reaction. I can't say he didn't come up to play. People can't call us negative for that game. But beyond that, it's to be honest, it's a results thing now, man. It doesn't matter how good or bad you play, you just need to get points on the board and get points on the board quickly. And you're gonna have to keep yourself mentally. God forbid, but we know how football works. Newcastle have had a poor season. What if we go a goal down, knowing exactly what we know going into the game? How are we gonna react? The players just got to put their big boy pants on. The manager the same. They got 5 games in the Prem, 7 in the Champs. What shall be, man. So it is what it is. 5 games,
Yeah.
just win the last 5. They can't do that. Listen, we
It's
hope,
not
we
even
pray.
about winning the last 5. It's no longer in your hands. We could win all 5 games
That's the
and still
minimum you have
not
to
win
do.
the league. Like, it's not in our hands anymore. But yeah, like, I get it. But here's my thing, guys, is, and I understand that, like, you know, we could just continue to try to be positive. The fact that I'm finding it so difficult to be positive just says everything that needs to be said, that we still have a chance and it feels like it's lost. That context matters. And I don't think you really can blame people for feeling. This isn't our first rodeo.
It's like
This
you've
is
been on
like,
a
this,
rope and you just let
yeah,
go
this is not
eventually.
our first rodeo, you know? So you can ask all you want for people to just remain positive and what's the point of being negative now? It's because my natural thing, you know, I just, especially good at the beginning of the season, I did not think we would win it. I thought Liverpool would do their thing and City would come before us. And the only time that I really was like, oh shit, was because everybody else was bad. Everybody else was bad. And we were kind of like up in front. And then we got a little cushion and it was like, oh, you know, but I think also when you have it in the back of your mind the whole time that we that they'll still catch us up, that we have this ability to crumble, and it
We
starts
have
to
this
become a
uncanny
reality,
ability. We got this insane ability just to fuck
it's
things up.
so
We can never
hard.
underestimate that.
Yeah, I think you just have to, at this point, I think it's okay to allow people to feel whatever they're feeling because this is not our first rodeo. It's just not. Slot ran away from us last season, and he's a bum and probably is not going to make it, you know, past this season. Arteta can't even do that. It's tiring. What is this for Newcastle?
I was thinking of that was there for Newcastle. I know Eze's probably going to play out wide, but I wanted to speak to you about these 3 in midfield. How would you feel about Odegaard, Rice, Eze, and the trade off with everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly? Like,
It's,
how do you feel about the midfield?
I mean, I would welcome that midfield with open arms. The fact that Zubi is somehow untouchable and undroppable is weird to me,
I feel
considering
sorry for him.
he's out of form. Like, it's not that he's a bad player; he's a great player. Like, I like him. He had a great start to the season all the way up until December, but he's better in advanced positions, and Declan Rice has been better sweeping up. You know, so maybe there's just, but Odegaard is better than Zubi at the things that Zubi is meant to be doing right now. Dropping in, receiving the ball, getting us up the
Odegaard's
pitch.
actually got some freedom to do that.
Yeah,
Again, back
it's
to the
just,
manager.
yeah. So I don't really know. But then, you know, but there's been a couple of times this season where Zubi has gotten back and got the ball and got caught, and we conceded once against Spurs at home and
United,
once against United. So I think
and he's not
there's a
following runners
lack of
no more.
trust there that's warranted because he hasn't been trustworthy, and that's fine. But there's just, you can't have Odegaard and Eze and only one of them play at this point because you need one of them to get us into the final third, and you need the other one to create magic in the final third. They don't work without one or the other. And Arteta doing this one in, one out is not helping Eze either. Somebody that's probably the only attacker that we have that I feel like has the quality and is on the edge of good form.
And has been in a
Um,
good moment, yeah.
yeah, and Trossard is hasn't scored since what, December. Martinelli should be coming
Yeah, but
off
I
the
don't want to see
bench.
Martin. He stunk it up against City, man. I'd rather
Yeah.
trust that for that, man. And if Trossard
And
stinks
it's
it, draw
not, and
another.
I'm not scapegoating Zubi. I don't think, like, I'm not one of those people that's saying like Zuby's terrible and Zuby's this. I think Zuby's had a good start to the season, but there's times where people go in and out of form, and the manager has to react quickly to make sure that you don't drain them of all of their confidence by playing them while they're out of form. He does the thing where he plays you even when you're out of form, like it's going to play you into form.
And you can see it as well. You don't trust nothing
Yeah,
else, Jeff.
yeah, but you also don't want to diminish Eze because Arteta is going to play Odegaard. So the right person to remove is Zubi because he's not playing good. But you don't want to diminish Eze because you need somebody with that sparkle and that magic. But what he does is he keeps playing Zubi into the ground, plays Odegaard when he's not fit, and then diminishes Eze's confidence all at once by not making one simple decision. Just drop Zubi for a game or two. It won't end everything. Like he's making a mistake a game, basically. He has like a mistake leading to goal.
Takes him too long to
goal almost every single game. You know? So yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna play Zubi, then you have to play Eze on the left, which again, at this point, Eze should not be dropped from any game at all, because he's the only player that you have at this point that's in any sort of like decent form, but also looks like he can make something happen. So Eze has to be on the team sheet, whether that's in midfield or whether that's on the left.
It's what just saying for the right hand side, because I know it's not going to be Max Dowman, but I think
if Saka's fit, then Saka plays. So, and aren't they saying that he might be fit soon?
Yeah, but then you're gonna rush man back. Are they fit enough to start?
You don't have a choice. When your choices are a child or Nani, you have no choice. You backed yourself into a corner.
Play my kid, play my son, play Max Dowman. I can't lie. I know he's 16. I know he's 17. We had a positive performance, not a result against City. The last time we was at Bournemouth is crazy. We need stuff. The people want to criticize fans. Give the fans something. Obviously, Mikel Arteta, that's you and the collective bunch being proactive and all of that. Yeah, Rice clamp someone in the first 5 minutes. Eze start dancing and doing all that wavy black striker stuff and attacking midfielder stuff that we want. Max can do that. No one's going to be inspired by the other youths, man. But that's not even what I wanted to ask you yet. In your heart, I know there's rumors about Saka and I've got Dowman there. Who do you think goes on the right? Because for me, I think he's going to go Nani.
Saka.
I think so. You think Saka, yeah?
I think he'll be fit, and I think no matter Arteta is going to play him.
I think he's going to play Nani there. But I think you might see Saka, Nani, Martinelli, Gyökeres. And obviously that front three is stinky, and it all depends on what you do in the midfield, isn't it, really? Because even that front three, I think it's smelly. I do think it's smelly.
No, you have to drop Gyökeres. You don't play direct to their strengths. You have to drop Gyökeres. Why is Gyökeres still there?
What are you saying, Kai?
The guy is, I don't care how many goals that man scores. My eyes do not deceive me.
Yeah, he's horrible.
He smells, bro. But Kai, he's not going to score the goals, but we play better with him. And that's just the
really? Yeah. We're a more fluid system, but do we really play better with Kai?
Yeah,
I know people are going to look at the City game. We've played shit many a time.
We do. We just
and if we're still having this conversation, this is why we're not going to make it.
Yeah, and people could say, well, put Gyökeres in all you want, but if we're not playing against bottom level opposition, look at all the teams that Gyökeres has scored against. It's mostly bad teams in Europe, bad teams domestically. As the pressure gets worse, he's not going to score. He's not. And so
our informed forward.
So Gyökeres has to come off the bench. I feel you just bring him off the bench. Him and Martinelli's are off of the bench goal scorers.
So this is your 11. Well, I don't even know if you believe Mosquera's playing right back, or do you think White's in? Do you think Timber's back?
It's like, okay, well, put Gyökeres in to score more goals, but if I don't know, you can't put him in. That's whatever.
Who do you think's right back? Do you think it?
I mean, it can't. I mean, Mosquera's there.
Do you think it'll go Mosquera again or what?
He doesn't trust White. He doesn't.
Well, you've run him into the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't trust White. So Arteta's going to go more defensive.
Why though? Against Newcastle, like why? Like if someone's got a gun to your head, we're at that point now. Fuck it, shoot. we're backed into a corner. We might as well fight back now. We might as well be up for it. Of course, you got to be street smart. We don't know what the game's going to look like. But what's
Well,
the fans are nervous? Why play nervous? Why have nervous
yeah,
tactics?
I would just say, you know, again, we played better at City with something closer to this, and it's just because we can actually build up and we can actually create chances, clear-cut chances. I don't think you can just ignore it just because Kai missed those chances. He's going to miss those chances. Like, it just is what it is. But we created more chances. Gyökeres, I just think he scores against really bad teams. I just think it's just that simple. And we're not playing against bottom feeder. So I don't know. But again, for the defense, Arteta's just going to go defensive because in his mind, if we keep the game close, it's better that the margins might fall in our direction. That's just how he thinks. You know. And was there not a game where Martinelli and Gyökeres came off of the bench and did well? Inter? Was it not?
There's been a couple. There's been a couple. I just don't think at this moment in time, I don't think it's wise, man. I know Kai done his thing. We know Kai is probably the better systemic striker, but at the end of the day, Gyökeres, as rubbish as he might be, he's bagging in it, and I just don't want to play around with that. I find it funny how, I understand that it comes off the bench and whatnot. I just feel we need momentum. There's a little bit of momentum with Gyökeres. There's a little bit of momentum with Eze. Yeah, you're bagging. You're confident. You're bagging. You're confident.
Bagging where?
You're bagging your confidence. Since 2026, you've been one of our biggest goal scorers.
He's not scored in April, has he? A penalty?
How many goals has this whole
a penalty against Bournemouth? Is that his contribution this month?
What contribution has any of these guys had collectively this month? All I know is, despite what I think about him wearing jeans and all of these things, bro, he's got 18 goals in the system. He's got 12 in the league. If he hasn't done it, then who else has done it? I'm not interested in Kai's ability to press.
18 goals this season, and he's still considered shit. Is just,
we know that though. Kai shit as well. Like, I know what I'm getting with Kai. I know if them chances fell to Gyökeres, whether he'd be there or not, he's going to bag. But
it'll be very interesting because
you've got two strikers that don't really do much.
Neither one of them is the answer,
And this is the problem.
Yeah, neither one of them is the answer. If Kai is not out there, they'll want Kai in there. But I just think we have a better chance of creating more opportunities.
He's back once in April still.
We have a better chance of creating more opportunities with Kai, which is what we need. If we only create one chance the whole game,
but are we scoring?
It is what it is. So,
but are we scoring them with Kai?
It's not even Kai. It's not even Kai prop, guys. I don't even like Kai.
No, she's not propping Kai.
But there's
Jess is definitely not propping Kai.
No, but there's just no denying that we play better with certain players, and it gives us a better chance of winning because we need to create more chances. Because if we only create one, we're not going to score. We're not going to score. So
yeah, but when the chances come, you have to bag. When the ball's over the top,
and if Gyökeres is such a good goal scorer, then why have we only scored like one goal in April?
Because we're not creating. He is a good goal scorer. We're not going to do that.
So then, good. So then if we're not creating chances, then that has to come into the conversation when we talk about who's going to play. Because if it's just as simple as Gyökeres is a good goal scorer, so put him in, but we haven't scored shit since he's been playing all April, then we have to consider more than that.
He bagged. And he bagged against Southampton. And he played. I actually think he turned up in the League Cup final. And I know what I'm going to get with Kai. The movement, all of that's great. But when we're creating chances, there's one thing creating them. There's another thing bagging them. Kai Havertz, when Eze and Odegaard have put you on, you haven't bagged. That chance at the end, which to be fair, Gyökeres ain't headering that. I'd rather play my striker that's in form. And as much as I don't rate either player, and it's not even with Kai, Gyökeres, you actually look like you're down for the cause. I'd rather you play. There's also been games Kai's come off the bench and look better because Gyökeres has been running around.
That's fine. Neither one of them.
Look at the conversations we're having.
Neither one of them is a great option. But I'm sorry, if we sold Gyökeres in the summer, no one would blink an eye. Nobody. I need it to be set in stone that we're not having a conversation about Gyökeres. I don't care how many goals he scored. When we play with him, we play some of the worst football we've ever played.
We've been playing shit regardless. We've played terrible with Kai there. Kai is better off the ball than on the ball. And as much as I champion that and I've been gassing that, football's played with a ball at his feet.
No, it's because
at your feet.
Arsenal are the type of team that need to create more chances in order to score 1 or 2 goals. And
if our midfield could create, if we actually had more gaps, if we had
but we
more
don't,
variety,
but we don't. But that's the point.
problem. It wouldn't really matter if it's Kai or Gyökeres.
But we don't.
It wouldn't matter if it's
we
Kai
need to
or
go with
Gyökeres.
whatever system is going to help us create more, and that's the point. You know, so yeah. If it was up to me, Gyökeres would come off of the bench. I just
look at the conversations we're having. We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. We're genuinely not going to.
People will prop Gyökeres just because they hate Kai, but not be honest about the fact that
people prop Kai because they hate Gyökeres. Everybody has said Gyökeres is shit. Nobody has. Kai Havertz has been compared to Van Persie and all of these guys. And if you don't understand what he brings to the system, then you don't know ball. It's ridiculous. There's only like 3-4 players that we actually all believe in, Arsenal fans. This is darkness. This is dark. Let me ask you that as well, Jess. Genuinely, form is one thing, but what players do you actually believe in at Arsenal? Like, obviously, there's different tiers and all of that kind of crap, but who do you actually like believe in, like players? I'll help you with 2 because I know you're gonna say it's got to be Saliba and Gabriel. That's cool.
Raya.
3.
Raya. Timber. To a certain extent, Hincapié as well.
Okay, Warrior. We haven't gassed him up enough. Warrior, like that, he's down for the cause. Obviously, Dauman.
Yeah. So yeah.
There might be 1-2 others, but then it's kind of done there, innit? But that's my thing. Look at what we're talking about. That's where I was saying it's a bigger conversation. There's 3-4 players like that we can put our life on. I would say Saka as well. Obviously, you know, Saka, the form's not been there. White, you've been running to the ground. Couple of them, man. Do you know what's so horrible, Jess, as well? Going back to the striker thing, yeah, we know we're a long way removed from it. But if Gabriel Jesus could just give us 50% of the 2022-23 one, you would be a bloody brilliant player to have at this moment in time. But it's neither here nor there.
The thing I don't like about Gabriel Jesus is because he's been benched for so long, you can tell that he's not interested in what we're doing. He's an emotional wreck, and he can't give us 100%. You can just tell he is such an emotional player that I feel like he feels some type of way because he hasn't been utilized. So you can't even count on him. He's just, to me, he's just a non-option. Is he more talented than both Gyökeres and Kai Havertz put together? Yes, but he's been so iced out for so long that, and that's another thing about Arteta's man management is he leaves the play. Like there's just certain players that need a little bit more like arms around the shoulders or whatever.
You don't warm the engine.
Yeah, no, because at this point, if I was MLS and he asked me to do something, I would flip him off. I would tell him to. I would.
You wouldn't be at the club anymore. Look at this. Like it was all good until the international break, man.
So, but yeah, I'm not trying to. I just. It's not about. It's on Arsenal. You have to hate down on one player, and like even if the other player is shit, it's just like. You'll pretend.
Both
Gyökeres and Kai are both ass to me. They're both bad. Like I remember a season where Kai scored 15 goals and I still thought he was a terrible signing. So goals do nothing. I'm just trying to think what's the best way of getting our better players, the Sakas, the Ezes, into better positions to score because they're the real players in this team. So whatever. You could start Gyökeres or Kai. As far as that, they're both awful to me. They're both awful to me in different ways.
And it shouldn't be the case.
They're 2 of our least talented players and our least technical players. They're hard to watch.
And you know what the funny thing is? We can criticize those players. Both of them, Mikel Arteta, you wanted them. They signed for the club. Make it happen, innit? That's all I want to know. Like, that's it. By hook or by crook. Before we wrap this up, Jess, I did want to ask you certain things. We'll go for it quickly. Do you think Arsenal signing Arda Güler, firstly? Silence is golden still. Yeah.
Arteta would not. He would know he's not going to sign any creative players. Not like that.
You're gonna cut off their wings, man. They're not gonna be able to fly.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He would be a great player for us to have. In fact, we should go back to some of the old recipes and at least have. We need more technical quality, like we need air. But Arteta's gonna go and bring in another left back with a long throw.
You're bringing in athletes with no tech, and I can't get. It's got to the point like we said this earlier, but I can't get Gyökeres. I accept you for what you are. Kai, I accept you for what you are. Noni, I accept you for what you are. Trossard and Martinelli and everything we've spoken about, I accept you for what you are. There's very few players that actually have my effing belief still, like proper belief. It's never gonna be there, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think any teams are like defenses or teams are even afraid of Arsenal players individually. They're just like, we just have to keep them from getting to the corner. And that's a problem. You know, Arteta's went he's gone way too far in the other direction. Like watching us trying to pass out from the back has been so disappointing because there used to be a time where if you did press us, it was a problem because we could just pass right by you and get beyond you. We can't run beyond you, you know, and we also cannot pass through you. So our only option is to boom it long. And I'm sorry, like I can accept us becoming more physically, you know, a better physical team and being good off the ball, but we are so poor in possession. Our technical quality is so low. I just can't live this way. Because once our physical superiority is diminished, because Arteta is going to do that because he's going to run you into the ground, we are like lumps. Lumps. That's it. What about Trossard?
Will you sell him to Napoli? Apparently they're showing strong interest.
Yeah, of course. He should have gone last summer.
Fair.
Yeah, of course.
I'm with that.
I don't think he likes Mikel.
I don't think he likes much, man. I mean, I've seen him smile a lot more, but you know what, Arteta, funny enough, he ain't bought many attackers, but Trossard's probably been the best attacker you have signed, you know, relative to the case study. Would you have Bernardo Silva? Now, I think this is a bullshit, but would you have him?
No,
you wouldn't have him.
No, because the reason why is not because I do not rate him or because I don't think that he is a fantastic little player. It's because they will never play for us like they'll play for him.
I hear that their hunger's kind of, I don't know him personally, but their hunger's probably gone. They've kind of checked out. But if it was just white and black of Bernardo Silva, I think we need some bastards, innit? He's a bastard.
Yeah, we do, but we need to find our own and find our own identity outside of City. Like, you know, so we need so much in attack, so much in those attacking areas. I get it. Like he's a fabulous little player, but
does he even deserve other attackers?
Yeah, it would just never work for us. We need a manager unattached to Manchester City and no more players from their team. We just need
you're buying the guys from the Premier League that are like, bro, just let people know they can find you, man. Like,
sorry, guys.
These are making me more pissed off. You're making me think about certain things even harder now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can find me at Jessica Black TV on TikTok and on Instagram, and then Jessica Black YT on YouTube. And then yeah, look out for my McDonald's commercial.
Come on, and we always appreciate Jess being here. Again, at least she's doing what she needs to do. She's doing kick-ups in the commercial and whatnot. Again, people, you know where to find her. Are we getting any Arsenal videos and whatnot this week? Or
you guys will get at least one big wrap-up video from me at the end of the season where I'll give you guys all my thoughts.
Make sure you're following Jess on all her social media. Make sure you're subscribed to her. As usual, it's always a pleasure to have you here, Jess. Just unfortunate that we're having these conversations. It didn't have to go this way. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Big up the chat, all the super chatters, all of you lot. Appreciate you lot. Any last words, Jess?
No.
She's checked
out. Talk to you guys too. I'll talk to you guys later.
People, one love. Jess, appreciate you.
Bye.
Oh, we. Regardless, it's up, they freeze up, corner boys in the building.
I think it's like